You must be hot. Come on. You want another treat? Come on. Let's go get a treat.
This puppy POV is shot on the Insta360 ONE RS. And this 360 video is also shot with the ONE RS. What about this low-light 360 FPV with the invisible drone? Also shot with the ONE RS. And this Shiba Inu in Anamorphic widescreen with shallow depth of field is also shot with the ONE RS. If you already have the Insta360 ONE R, you probably know all that already. So what's up with the new ONE RS? Is it better than ONE R? Is it better than the DJI Action 2? And is it better than the Ricoh Theta X in 360? Is the HDR video feature revolutionizing the action camera market? Considering my iPhone 13 Pro can also do Active HDR video in 4K. So, should you upgrade to ONE RS? Why now? As this YouTube channel is focused primarily on 360 video production, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay, not that elephant. If you only care about the 2D feature of the ONE RS and want to see the result on ONE RS versus ONE R, DJI Action 2 and GoPro Hero 10, jump to this timecode right here. We are going to do the most practical 360 camera side-by-side comparison test. We have a focus chart 6 feet away from the camera, point directly to the stitch line of each camera for the stitching test. We will test the Insta360 ONE R, the new Insta360 ONE RS, the everyone's favorite Insta360 ONE X2, and the Ricoh Theta X, and other brand new 360 cameras released just this month with a half-inch image sensor. Now, let's watch the result together. Comment below and guess which camera is which. See if you can get it right. Type in your answer in the comment section down below now. Okay, here is the correct answer. From left to right, we have Insta360 ONE RS, ONE R, ONE X2, and Ricoh Theta X. I know it's really hard to tell as they all look kinda the same. So the good news is, if you have any one of these cameras, you already have the best from a consumer perspective. But let's go for the nitpicking, because we are professionals, right? First, distance detail and sharpness. We punch in 400% on the focal chart 20 feet behind Kitty in the dark. We can clearly see Theta X has the best detail due to its larger image sensor. ONE X2 comes a very close second. ONE R and ONE RS are the same, very blurry. But hold on, is that a bad thing? Not necessary. In the new RS come with a new firmware update for the R series. We can now decide how much in-camera sharpening to apply to our image, from low to very high in 4 levels. ONE X2 does not have this feature just yet, so all images are forced to have very high sharpness. If you know anything about professional video production, you know you should always add sharpening in post-production. For a fair comparison, I turned the in-camera sharpening all the way down to low in this test. For me, as a storyteller, I care more about how my subject looks than the details in the background. Let's punch in on Kitty's face to show you what I'm talking about. Look, on ONE X2, Kitty's face has lots of sharpening artifacts. It has that security camera look, which is very ugly on a person. On the contrary, ONE RS looks more natural. If we add post-sharpening using DaVinci Resolve, here is the result. It is like 100 times better than the ONE X2 result. You cannot remove sharpening in post, so ONE X2 result is unfixable. If you want to learn how to color grade, correctly denoise, and resharpening 360 footage for free, check out this in-depth tutorial right here. Comment below if you wish Insta360 to release this awesome secret feature as well on the ONE X2. Thanks to the new processor, ONE RS has a slightly better color and dynamic range than ONE R. But unfortunately, due to the sensor size differences, Ricoh Theta X is still better looking on human subject. Second, flare. So ONE RS still has that signature red dot when facing the sun directly. Even though it's less noticeable compared to ONE R or ONE X2, Ricoh Theta X has a way nicer lens flare and a more cinematic look. Third, 360 stitching. So with the release of ONE RS, Insta360 also launched a brand new version of the Insta360 Studio. This version finally has optical flow stitching, just like Kendall software or Mr. VR. Optical flow stitching is 100% GPU accelerated. If you have a beefy NVIDIA GPU like I have here, the rendering speed for 360 video is like 10 times faster than the previous version. This also applies to the old ONE R and ONE X2. Great job, Insta360! Optical flow is great for stationary camera 360 stitching with extra calibration. Click this button right here in the studio, will calibrate the scene for you. Or you can use this custom slider here to refine your stitching further. It is really like a professional stitching solution now. So this test, we used the brand new optical flow stitching, and here is the result. For stationary objects like the chart right here, ONE X2 stitching is flawless. ONE RS is better than ONE R. Theta X has a very bad sharpening issue on the stitching line area, so here's the ranking. Let's see the human result in an even closer distance, like 2 feet away. ONE X2 still has the best result. In fact, with the brand new optical flow feature, ONE X2 is now the best 2-lens 360 camera in terms of stitching. ONE RS is better than ONE R, but it is not perfect due to the distance between 2 lenses. Another thing worth mentioning here, after using the chromatic aberration inside the calibration light right here in the new studio, we clearly see ONE RS has a better dynamic range and better front and back lens exposure matching, thanks to the enhanced processing inside the brand new core unit. The skin tone rendering result is also very good, better than ONE X2 in my opinion. To really see all these detailed differences and a lot more information, you really need to see this in a VR headset like the Meta Oculus Quest 2 right here. I'm going to post another 360 video of this test and also link to Oculus TV directly right here. So watch and download that test to see it yourself in VR or 360 in full 5.7K immersive video. 360 stabilization. For For my other 360 comparison video right here, you all know Ricoh Theta X is not good at stabilization compared to any Insta360 cameras. But how is the stabilization among ONE R, ONE RS, and ONE X2? Well, let's find out together in my Onewheel test right here. From top to bottom, we have ONE X2, ONE R, and ONE RS. We draw a horizon line so you can better see the horizon drifting. As you see the result right here, all three cameras are identical in stabilization. They are really the best in all 360 camera industry. See, I switch my hand right here from low to high angle, capturing myself one-wheeling. The horizon and the world lock are perfect. The center of the frame is still kept dead center. Very impressive stabilization. 360 audio. If you like to vlog in 360, having good on-camera audio is very important, as you cannot attach a shotgun mic on a 360 camera and not being seen. The only other way is to use a wireless lav system. Later in this video, I will show you the mic adapter accessory on the ONE RS with an affordable 4 microphone receiver lavalier system, the Comica Boom XU. Capturing your individual audio channel allows you to make a true 3D spatial sound in first order ambisonic. But for now, we will focus on testing the internal microphone system first. ONE RS has an additional microphone for improved audio compared to the old ONE R. Let's do an audio test right now. Audio test 1, 2, 3, take some speed so I get some wind. It's really windy right now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, wind noise reduction. Audio test 1, 2, 3, take some speed so I get some wind. It's really windy right now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, wind noise reduction. Audio test 1, 2, 3, take some speed so I get some wind. It's really windy right now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, wind noise reduction. So, ONE RS has the most consistent wind noise reduction result. The audio sounds a little bit muffled, but totally usable for daily vlogger and even extreme sports user. As you can hear my Onewheel grinding the road as my speed pick up, and at the same time removing most of the unwanted wind noise. So, really great for capturing sports sound effects. I personally think the result is even better than ONE X2. Well, take a listen yourself again and comment below and tell me which one you like the best. We even tested the ONE RS on an actual jazz concert. Let's take a listen now. Even without a manual level adjustment, ONE RS AI audio handling PA system exceptionally well. There is barely noticeable audio clipping and capturing the full audio spectrum. So, if you like to capture like concert and events, ONE RS is a great camera to do the job thanks to its new AI audio processing engine inside this brand new core unit. Now, let's switch gear and talk about 2D video capture. 4K boost lens with a larger half-inch 48 megapixel sensor. The biggest selling point of this 4K boost lens is the HDR video in 4K 30 frames per second. Not 60 frames per second, only 30 frames per second or 24 frames per second. This is not clear in their marketing material, so I want to make it crystal clear. You are looking at some 4K HDR moving sample right now, where I am pointing the camera directly toward the setting sun, riding on my Onewheel on a busy street. Please do not try this at home. On the left, we have 4K HDR result, and on the right, we have 4K standard. The image quality results are significantly different in this high contrast scenario. On the HDR, the sky has a really nice transitional of color and you can see the sun clearly. On the standard, it is just a big blown out hot spot. HDR also enhances the shadow and the color in general. the whole scene look more cinematic now without even any color grading. You don't really get this look in any action camera except the One RS. How is this compared to One R 1-inch Leica mod?
Fat jiggle, jiggle the fat, jiggle the fat, fat jiggle, fat jiggle, jiggle the fat, jiggle the fat, jiggle, 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 you are just jiggle.
Here on the left, we have the One RS in HDR 4K, and on the right, we have the 1-inch in 5.3K. HDR still has a way better dynamic range, but the sharpness is not as high as 1-inch Leica. 1-inch Leica is still the most powerful feature that make One R series stand out from other action camera. Insta360 does not suggest using the HDR mode in low light or indoor environment, but we are going to do that anyway to show you the problem. If the camera is stationary with a consistent indoor lighting, it's not so bad as you see this low light jazz concert right here. But when we are moving and having exposure change, we see the problem right here. It had that slow shutter speed artifacts. So yes, don't use HDR indoor. One RS versus One R. So for current One R user, the biggest question will be, should you upgrade to the 4K boost mod and the new One RS core unit? Well, let's find out. We set up a controlled lighting studio environment for a very accurate image quality comparison between the One RS and One R. I will provide the full detailed test right here. I would highly recommend watch it and draw your own conclusion. Don't just listen to influencers telling you what to buy. Most of them are paid lip service to read the official press release. It is your money and you should know what you are getting yourself into. Here is my unbiased observation. 4K boost lens versus 4K lens in 30 frames per second. 4K boost lens has sharper detail in the chart, better color rendering, and better highlight roll off. It also has less compression artifacts and better skin tone color. In high frame rate, 4K boost support up to 60 frames per second, and 4K only support up to 50 frames per second. In sport, this is kinda big deal. But the most impressive feature of 4K boost besides its HDR feature is the hidden 6K widescreen mode. It gives you 6016 by 2560 super high 6K resolution. Here is a comparison. You can see how much larger the frame is. Compared to 5.3K on the 1-inch Leica, the details are greater than even the 1-inch Leica. That is pretty ridiculous. The only drawback in the 6K widescreen mode is it only has 24 and 25 frames per second. So it's not designed for action sport use cases. The old One R 4K mod also has HDR mode, but as you see here, the HDR mode in the old One R is very unusable. The One RS core unit is also comparable with the original 1-inch Leica mod. The new cores allow you to have in-camera flow state stabilization in up to 4K 60 frames per second. Here is a side-by-side comparison. They are very similar. One RS new core with the new processor does reduce the compression artifacts a slightly little bit and produce a more natural look. You can also see that from the bitrate of each file. One R 1-inch 4K 60 frames per second is at 85 megabit per second, and the One RS 1-inch 4K 60 frames per second is at 100 megabit per second. A higher bitrate usually means better image quality. Let's take a look at 5.3K video in 30 frames per second. In order to capture 5.3K in RS, you need to switch to pose mode in the camera. In 5.3K, the image quality differences is more pronounced. One R has more compression artifacts and digital noise than One RS. You can see that in this 400% zoom in focus chart right here or the corner color chart right here. One RS again is in 100 megabit per second and One R is 85 megabit per second. That 25 megabit pixel really make a difference to stay away from the action camera look, especially when you pair it with the backbone 1-inch MFT mod and the cinematic lens like the Sirui Anamorphic lens right here. Look at Kimchi shot on this exact setup in 5.3K. Can you even believe this is shot on a Insta360 ONE RS? It looks like it is shot on the new Panasonic GH6. The new ONE RS core unit already has built-in focus assist on the back of the LCD, so it's already one step up compared to the old ONE R. I cannot wait for more features like the peaking and external monitor support coming out on supporting cinematic usage on the world's smallest cinematic camera right here. Learn more about Backbone mod and the whole Backbone ecosystem right here. The Backbone mod also supports 7K 360 video with 2 ONE R and 2 Antenna How-to 50 lens. If you want to check out some result in 360, check out this video right here. We will test on the ONE RS in the next video to capture a better 7K 360 video in 2 1-inch sensor. So don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. Overheat and battery. ONE RS also comes with a new battery with 21% more capacity. As we know from my old ONE R review right here, the ONE R old battery will overheat in 20 minutes. So we'll run a side-by-side comparison battery test with DJI Action 2 here to see which battery is more reliable. ONE RS has no more overheat until it hits 70 minutes continuous recording time. It shows warning message of the media is not fast enough. That is the official Insta360 SD card, so it is a very sneaky way to tell you that the camera is in fact overheating. The camera continued to film for 5 more minutes and was completely dead. So the battery can last a total of 75 minutes of continuous filming in a real life scenario. My DJI Action 2 here is a dual screen combo with 2 batteries in one, so it lasts longer. But DJI Action 2 overheated in 48 minutes, which is still really good but not as good as ONE RS. DJI also has the same air of media card is not fast enough. It is again a very sneaky way to tell you the camera is overheat, even in stop recording temperature set to high inside the DJI Action 2. So if you are getting the new ONE RS, getting the new battery is a must. Insta360 ONE RS versus DJI Action 2 versus GoPro. We saved the best for last. For those of you who are having a hard time deciding between Insta360, DJI, and GoPro, here is the test for you. Before telling you my opinion, I want you to draw your own conclusion. Comment below which one you think is the best. Okay, now we're gonna do some Onewheel stabilization test between the GoPro and the DJI Action 2 and the brand new Insta360 ONE RS in HDR and 4K. Okay, so let's see how good is their stabilization compared to each other. I'm gonna just point in the front for now. Woo! Engage. Alright. Tell me how good is each stabilization. And I'm not intentionally moving around. No, intentionally moving around because I really want to test stabilization. Use this hand. Just moving around. Ooh. Should not move too much because I don't want to crash my Onewheel. Hopefully you see a stabilization right now. Also, I'm gonna do some audio tests. I'm riding like pretty fast right now. Just riding, and you can see like you can probably hear wind noise right now. See how good is the audio between the GoPro, DJI, and the Insta ONE RS. Okay, now we're gonna flip it upside down. Really horrible one we still. See how good is the stabilization. I'm gonna do some tricks. I am new to the DJI Action 2, but I think the super wide field of view with rock solid stabilization mode is really impressive as an action camera. Both Insta360 and GoPro have to cut down the field of view to get the best stabilization. They in fact all have really impressive stabilization, but having a more FOV make DJI Action 2 win in this round. From the image quality standpoint, I still like the ONE RS outdoor because we see more shadows and highlight details with the impressive HDR mode. It is not as sharp as DJI Action 2 though. This is because sensor size does matter in details and sharpness. DJI has a bigger image sensor than ONE RS and GoPro. We also hear the onboard audio comparison for action sports. I think ONE RS is the best with more headroom to boost in post. What do you think? Comment below and tell me. DJI Action 2 and GoPro all have 4K in 120 frames per second. If you do extreme sport, having 120 frames per second in 4K is kinda a must nowadays. But if you do not like to put your life at risk and do crazy flip like this, then 4K 60 frames per second in ONE RS is more than enough for you. We will have a more detailed comparison video series among the ONE RS, DJI Action 2, GoPro Hero 10, Insta360 Go 2 coming on this YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe and give it a like. 8K DNG photo with 48 megapixel. Another big selling point is the 8K photo feature with 48 megapixel. It supports DNG RAW and PureShot AI processing. You are looking at some of the sample right now. It also captures decent low-light photo as well, as you can see right here. Price. Price is a big deciding factor for many of the price-sensitive viewers here. The good news is the 4K boost lens with the new cord and the new battery is only $299 If you are upgrading from ONE R, that is all you need. Compare it to DJI Action 2 dual screen combo, which costs $519 and the GoPro Hero 10 costs $449 right now on B&H. That is a lot cheaper. If you already buy into the ONE R ecosystem, this is really cost effective for an upgrade with so many new features. Accessories. One of the reasons why you will choose Insta360 ONE RS instead of other action camera is because all the official and third-party accessory. The idea of RS is almost all your old ONE R accessory will work on the new ONE RS. So the old battery, the boost battery can work with the ONE RS. If you use the new ONE RS battery, which is 21% longer filming time than the original ONE R battery, you will need the new mounting case. The new mounting case right here has a built-in wind cover for microphone and better heat sink. It's recommended to buy them together. ONE RS also supports the quick reader. Here is my quick reader for iPhone and iPad. If you like to edit on your phone, there is a must-have accessory for every Instagrammer or TikToker. Insta360 has the best mobile editing app for an action camera, a lot better than DJI or GoPro. If you are an Insta360 user, you know that already. I personally like to edit it on a computer, so check out my 360 editing tutorial series right here for Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve right here. Final verdict. The release of ONE RS seemed to be quite disappointed. The RS looked like a bug-fixed version of the ONE R. No new 360 mod for 360 video creators like me and you, and it does not do 4K in 120 frames per second like the DJI Action 2. So action sport lover might not be that interested in the ONE RS. But this is a necessary upgrade if you like the ONE R ecosystem. So now it's pure speculation. Don't take my word for it. The new ONE RS with the new image processor can be what it needed for the VR 180 mod, leaked like 2 years ago right here. It makes perfect sense Insta360 is working on several new mods, maybe including the new 360 mod with a half-inch sensor or better 1-inch sensors. The new ISP in the ONE RS core unit is the foundation for many more mods to come. A new FPV mod or a new 360 drone mod can be the next thing to come out. Backbone might also continue to expand and get new feature support from the new ONE RS. So it can use any lens you want, even the new RF dual fisheye lens from Canon. Again, this is just my wild speculation. If you agree with me or don't agree with me, comment below and let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for the latest news and tutorial. Give me a big thumb up for this in-depth review. Please share this video on your social media. Sharing our YouTube video is the best gift to us. Both me and Kimchi wouldn't be here without your continued support. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video.